Avinash, if you look at these numbers, and it is interesting, a lot of this seems to be quite favorable for the Gehlot government. There's nothing terribly negative. In certain cases, it's not necessarily where they would have wanted it to be. Would you believe, therefore, if you just look at the first set of graphics, that the BJP would be counting primarily on the incumbency factor, the fact that since 2013, 1993 onwards, the Congress and the BJP have always flipped. One is gone and one has come. These parameters seem okay. Anti-incumbency might be a factor.
Yes, Vishnu, you rightly pointed it out. Anti-incumbency is the only thing that the BJP has to take on Gehlot government. Mostly the perception of the Chief Minister himself is very good. Go across anywhere, people are satisfied with him. But the biggest problem of the Congress party at the moment is that the kind of 156 seats that they have given up, mostly the MLAs against whom there is anger at the local area, they have all been repeated. So that is where is the big problem for the Congress party. And even the Chief Minister has accepted it in interviews and in other conversations that we understand that there is an anti-incumbency against my MLAs. But because they supported us during the time of crisis for the government, we are sticking with them. But by and large, this is for the first time that we don't see an anger or a mood against the Chief Minister. Because if you look at the last election, it was very clear there was an anger against the Chief Minister, which costed close to 90 MLAs their seats. BJP was 163. When the results came out, they were down to 73. This time around, when you move across the state, there is an anger against the local MLAs and not particularly against the Chief Minister.
The Chief Minister or the state government? The state government or the Chief Minister? Because these are, this is a lot of work that the state government actually does. Aarti, how do you read, this first set in terms of performance? Have a sec, Avinash. Aarti, go ahead.
Yeah, Vishnu, it is quite surprising that after 5 years, and rebellion which threw his government into crisis because of the infighting in the Congress between Pilot and Gehlot. It's really surprising that despite that, his ratings are pretty high.
43%
yes.
are fully satisfied.
Yes. Right. And 27 are reasonably
28
satisfied.
are somewhat satisfied.
Yeah. So,
somewhat
if you add that, it is very impressive that after 5 years in power, he's getting those kinds of numbers.
Right.
So, obviously he's done something good.
Yeah.
And I think that it's all these welfare schemes that he has announced over the last 2-3 years, which are getting him these numbers. There are a whole lot of them, whether it's, in the health sector or the education sector or, for farmers and so on. And I think that's really what's keeping him afloat.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, will this be enough to help him win the election?
And we're going to go through a lot of other parameters.
Yeah, I think that's
which
really
might
the
sway
question.
the opinion of all of you.
But at least Gehlot can,
over the next 30
if he
minutes
loses,
or so,
he can go out feeling quite satisfied that, he remains still a popular figure in Rajasthan.
Charu, Pragya, would you actually agree with the part of what Aarti is saying that when it comes to winning these elections and the challenges that the BJP faces, it is less about what you can do to dent Ashok Gehlot personally and more about what you can do to dent the performance of the Congress and the government?
Good evening, Vishnu, and I've been hearing to everybody's observations. I'll tell you why I disagree with so much that has been said. When you look at a sample size of around 3,000 people in a state as big as Rajasthan, I don't think it is sufficiently large. And the plank of social security, especially security for women, is a very big one. We have seen the number of cases on an extreme rise. In fact, it ranks the highest when it comes to crime against women, rape cases in the entire country, and that's become a big problem. Also, the situation of farmers, land grabbing cases, which have been supported by the government. More than 1,000 rights have taken place in the state of Rajasthan in the last 1 year. And when it comes down to voting, these are the things that people will remember and vote about. Because, when we break down everything and we look at this one angle of women's safety and security, it overrides everything in my opinion. And then taking that forward to the position of Dalits, the number of cases which have been filed against them, all in all, it has been not a very positive 5 years for Congress government. There have been statements made which have been very negative, very contrary to what good governance is by ministers of the Congress, and they have not been pulled up for it. Statements which go like, "Ye Purushon ka Pradesh hai, isliye rape mein #1 hai," or people who are wanting to discuss the black book of corruption. It'll all come together and.
All right. So law and order, women's safety, 2 points that you talked